Okay, here we go. So we are here now. Got it. Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me. Am I ready to go? Dr. Inga?
My dear, good luck.
I believe so, because I can see myself fully ready for this wonderful topic.
Yes.
You're all welcome. You're all welcome. Do you want me to start now?
Yes, dear.
Okay. Yes, we can start. You are all welcome to this wonderful masterclass or seminars, whatever you want to call it. But I will say you're welcome to our regular mindset series. And we continue with mindset for relationships. And you can agree with me that we can talk about relationship all the years, because there are lots of issues, there are lots of topics, and there's so many things that we need to gain knowledge from in order for us to add to our mindset. So you are all welcome to this wonderful, wonderful seminar or training, the way you want to call it. And you are also welcome to International Internship University. So my name is Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, the director of Yes You Can International here in UK. And I'm also the Chancellor of IIU, honorarily. Okay, let me use this time to just share, and then we start from here. Okay. Mindset for relationship. That's our topic for this August visit, today and tomorrow. And we are going to dive into mindset to forgive and forgiveness and happiness, because every one of us wants to be happy for the rest of our lives. So before I go any further, let me show my appreciation to IIU for giving me the opportunity to come and share my inspirational nugget of wisdom. So let me show my gratitude for this golden opportunity to share my inspirational nugget of wisdom, to teach, to train, to mentor, and to speak on mindset for relationship. And I look forward to continue tomorrow as well. And may I invite you to join us, and also encourage you to invite your friends and your family. May I also encourage you as well to share this to your platform, so that some of your friends and your followers can benefit from this valuable teaching on relationship series. Let me also use this time to quickly say thank you, Sir Piyush Pandit, the visionary, the founder, and the president of International Internship University. I also want to express my gratitude to all the co-founders and the vice chancellors and all the board members, the ambassadors, the educators, the distinguished administrators, and general secretary. May I also say thank you to all my participants, my viewers, my listeners, my trainees, who will be waiting patiently for the next an hour for us to reason together, learn together, and also share. So feel free to share on the chat box and ask your questions. But before I go, you want to know the platform that I am sharing on this afternoon or this morning. International Intensive University, IIU, has been called, is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide, well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the youth learners of the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents, including Africa, under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Sir Piyush Pandit. Sir Piyush Pandit is my own boss and is also a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. Sir Piyush also is a successful philanthropist and also an entrepreneur. So, you are all welcome to this platform of IIU. And as you can see my slide as well, have been opportune to be trained as well, which I'm still keep on learning, because learning is living. And I've been satisfied as the mentor, career counselor, and also a trainer. I'm also opportune to be honored by the IIU as the professor and counselor. So you are all welcome. Let's move forward further down. Become life learner. And I believe that is why we are all here today, because we want to learn and learn and learn again until we get better, especially in our relationship. I've written so many books, and they are all available at amazon.com.uk or .com or .co.uk. You can also visit yesyoucaninternational.com and avail yourself with various books, especially on relationship. We are treating a very important topic today, and majority of what I'll be sharing with you today and tomorrow comes from this book called The Love We Lost: How to Reconnect and Rebuild Your Relationship. And that is how we can forgive one another. So let's move on. Our topic in this section is mindset on relationship, and we want to talk about forgiveness today and tomorrow, because every one of us deserve to forgive ourselves and forgive others, and we also deserve to receive forgiveness. But let me ask you a question. Have you been disappointed before? Have you feel when you were disappointed? How do you feel when you are disappointed? And what did you do when you experienced disappointment, or even when people break your heart? Because there's so many ways we can hurt ourselves and hurt others. Does someone betray you, or cheated you, or humiliated you, or abuse you? How many of you have seen yourself in this situation of lost love and saying to yourself, I can never, never forgive or love again? How many of you have felt disappointed and concluded there is no love anyway? Do you want to learn how to let go? Rise above the situation of disappointment? how to communicate your expectation and feelings with one another, and how to build trust and start all over again. How to connect, restore, and rebuild trust and relationship in marriage, in family, even in partnership with your spouse or with your organizations, or even with other organizations, or even with friends. And I believe that is why we are here today. But let me quickly let you know 4 things that is always missing. Because sometimes we want to conclude. Sometimes we don't see beyond the situation. But there are 4 things that is really missing in any relationship. Number 1, ignorance. And I want to appreciate your time joining us today because you want to learn. You want to break free from ignorance. You want to understand lives better. Then number 2 is lack of understanding. There are so many things that we don't understand, and we conclude, and we take wrong and rational action. And also lack of vision. Do we have vision at all? Why are you with the person you are with? Why are you building that relationship? Then sometimes unknown of our identity, of who we are as well, as our purpose. We are lost if we don't know who we are. We are lost if we don't know our identity. We are lost if we don't know our purpose. We don't have vision. We don't have better understanding, and we are ignorant. And that is why it's so easy for other people to treat us the way they have treated us. Or it's so easy that other people also treat themselves, because sometimes the way you treat yourself is the way others will treat you, or the way you present yourself. So if you know who you are, you know your purpose, you know your vision, you have better understanding of what life is all about, and you are not ignorant, you keep learning, then you can be in a better position to forgive. But before I go on, mindset is everything. This is the moment of truth that happiness depends on our mindset. Mindset opens opportunities and learning. It exposes us into reality of lives and genuineness. Mindset is how we judge the situation you are facing, how we perceive others, and how we treat others, and even treat ourselves. So the state of our mind matters, especially in this topic of forgiveness or relationship. And as the word of God says, as the man thinks, so is he. So the state of your mind will determine the way you react, the way you take actions, your attitude towards people and towards situation, and even your lifestyle. It's all going to be based on what's in your mind and what you are thinking about. So state of our minds will determine how we behave. Because some people don't know that. Our character and our attitude, we always base on what is in our mind and what we're thinking about. So it is very important to get the right information about ourselves. Know who you are. Know your strength, your weaknesses. And the way you know yourself, you will have the ability to add value to yourself and also add value to others. It's very, very important. And the informations gathered, either through seeing, watching, listening, observing, reading, these are stored in our mindset, and it's supposed to be for a better and satisfactory and contented life. And that is why mindset is very important in every issues, in every crucial topic like this forgiveness now. So you need to start looking at that area, because the information you gather, either it is positive or negative, will reflect your reaction. And if you want to move forward, if you want to get better, if you want to have a happy life and be happy for the rest of your life, if you want to enjoy your life, then you need to treat your mindset very, very important. I mean, you need to treat your mindset as very important in your life. So the state of your mind matters. And the informations you are gathering, either negative or positive, matters as well, that you gathered and you store in your mindset. Do you know we are talking about positive here and the negative? As we are sitting down here, majority will say it is not possible for me to forgive. Majority will say, but just based on how they felt, how they've been treated, how they've been abused, how they've been talked to, and so many, many things, they might conclude and say, I will never forgive so and so. That's negative. And it's just based on the information that you allow your mind or your mindset to have. Some people will say it is not possible for somebody to forgive. But I am here to not to convince you, but to inspire you, to encourage you, to let you see the better picture of this, that it is possible for you to forgive and move on. Forgiveness is very important in our lives. You can be holding yourself back. You can live your whole life full of guilt. You can even live your whole life bitterness, full of bitterness. And that can lead to something else, like having problem with your health. And even the way you sleep, even the way you perform, and also the way you react to other innocent people. We will get to it either today or tomorrow. So let's move on. But let me quickly ask you a question. What can stop you from not having a changed mindset? Yes, I know you are here listening to me. Could it be because you have been discouraged, or you've been disappointed, or there's been some kind of discord and disunity, disagreement, even doubt and denial, and even distraction? So what can stop you not to change your mindset to forgive? What's so bad that you cannot forgive yourself and forgive others? I am here to inspire you. I can only encourage you and inspire you and motivate you based on the fact that you will benefit more when you forgive. So let's move on. I'm just going to be sharing. I want you to listen attentively with this moment of truth I want to share with you today. The only way to live happily, peacefully, and harmony with one another in this world is for everyone to admit it, that we are all different. We are all not perfect. We are all can make mistakes because we are human beings. We are all have the ability to choose our tradition, religion, or way to serve God, or way to do things. And we can still respect one another. We all have the ability to choose better and understand better understanding, bring peace and unity and love. We will talk about it later. But from my past and present experiences in life, I became strong to know that forgiving someone does not mean it didn't happen, that the event didn't happen. We cannot ignore that. It's a fact. We can see it is obvious that something happened to warrant you saying that you can't forgive. But forgiveness doesn't necessarily resume trust automatically. Let me also share that moment of truth. Because you forgive that person that have broken you down for many, many years, that has hurt you, that have done so many things bad. The person you have trusted probably more than 1 year or 2 years, or even more than that, and the person broke the trust. So I'm not here to let you, he's saying that forgiveness, we automatically resume the trust. It's a process, and it's a long process. Just do your part towards reconciliation. That's the only thing you can do so that you can free yourself, free your mind, and move on. I know through experience as well, when we choose to forgive and allow that to work within our heart, cutting off every place where anger, hurt, bitterness, and fear, thoughts of self-pity and self-righteousness rise up, then the event becomes nothing but a memory. Oh, yes. And that is the experience I personally had. We find ourselves free of all emotional attachment to it, and we even forget in the end. That's what we are talking about, and it is possible. And yes, you can. Everyone has suffered some sorts of emotional hurt through the words being spoken or actions of another people. Expressing this hurt is completely natural because we are all human beings. But sometimes the hurts last longer than it needs to. This makes it harder to be happy. And if we can't let go and move on, it can ruin our lives and relationships. It can even go far with us to another state of relationship. It can affect you and affect even your loved ones, including your own children. It can even affect the way you perform, the way you work, the way you interact with others. In every challenges of life, there is always storms. There are ways to come out of those storms. Oh, yes. To come out of these storms and situation and circumstances. You know why? Because situations are not permanent. There are always movements. It's just for a short period. However, storms force you to change and become better, wiser, and stronger. People have got used to hiding from their emotions. So sometimes to letting them govern their lives uncontrollably. Because if you don't walk out of it, if you don't let go, if you don't forgive, then this controls your life, controls everything you do, controls even your emotions. So which leads to many unresolved conflicts, inner and with others, to sending mixed messages to the people around them, around us, and to numerously lingering issues waiting to be resolved, which rarely happens. Because of this, the person who is in touch with their emotions, who knows how to control and understand them, and who is able to discharge themselves from their feelings is often viewed a stable, professional, reliable partner in business and in private life. So once you can control, once you can let go, once you can develop yourself and get yourself better, then you can be stable, professional, and also reliable even in your business, even in relationship, even in your leadership. And they really are, because they don't allow emotions to rule their lives. So one of the things for you to manage your emotions is to forgive and let go. Sometimes we involve in blame games instead of forced to take responsibility. We blame the government, we blame the parents, we blame everybody. We blame the weather. We blame even where we live. So we blame for what is going on in the society. The drugs, the killing, the stabbing, the gangster, the rapists, parents blaming the government, the film producers' wives blaming the man that left them, the pursuit of money and career, and even blaming the children that become rebellious, and children blaming their parents for not listening to them. And finally, social services blaming parents and parents blaming them. However, no one is taking any responsibility of those actions and their actions. So, and that's one of the reasons why we can't forgive, because we blame anyone that hurt us. We don't see it that we can contribute to the problem. So we just blame and condemn and criticize. There are so many charities and groups and religious leaders that are working hard to find solutions, but not enough. We try to push the main problem aside. Whereas all these things have to start from within us individually. There's no point dealing with the problem from the surface or from the top, but recognize the roots of the problem. So unforgiveness spirit can lead people to behave anyhow. Unforgiveness spirit can make people to be hungry, they can damage, they can kill, they can do all sorts of things. Unforgiveness spirit can also affect many lives. Remember, they said charity begins at home. So this unforgiveness spirit is a generational problem. Sometimes some people might not even forgive their parents, their grandparents, or even people that have died already. And they keep on carrying on with this guilt, this unforgiveness. The person they don't want to forgive is already gone. And they still don't want to free themselves. I believe that we are talking here, and it's not about one person, it's all of us. We are all guilty of it. Someone that can never forgive is someone destined to be alone. Is it possible? Do you want to be alone in this whole world? Forgiveness is one of the ways you can profoundly change your life. It's not always easy. So I'm not coming here to tell you that it is easy. We are all going through it every day of our lives. It's not always easy, but it's a skills that we can learn. And I'm appreciating your time here, joining us today to learn. Because when we learn, we get better understanding, then there will be transformation, there will be change in the way we see situation, in the way we assess the problem, in the way we also can accept and admit our own fault. It takes practice. And when you practice it, it becomes better. As I'm talking to you also today, I'm also in that process. Every human being is in that process. So no one is exception. No one is left out. We are all guilty and we are all victim of it. And that is why we need to keep speaking, keep sharing, keep training, so that we can get better and enjoy our lives and build a good relationship. Forgiving and forgetting is a skill that requires work to become good at it. It's a skill that we need to develop, not like any other thing. But be smart. If someone took advantage of you at work, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be careful to prevent it from happening again. But you need to learn first and assess the situation, that the event that has happened already, and know the way to overcome it. Know the way to prevent it not to come to you again. And also, once you know it, you can help others. Forgiving means that you should let go. So you don't have to be miserable thinking about that person every day for the next few years. So that you can free yourself and not holding yourself in a cage just because you are thinking badly about others. Or maybe the time you meet this person out there, your blood pressure is rising. So who is this victim? Who is suffering for it? Individual. And that is why we have to learn how to go through it and let go, forgive, and move on with your life. However, let us start with individual. Let's start with me and you. And with this, I have sought few qualities of an exception, fathers, man, and husband, to encourage our men, to motivate our young ones to ascribe greatness, as well as the mother, the woman, and the wife, to also encourage their young ones and motivate them and inspire them and help them out of their miserable life. Also to have the fear of God and seek God's wisdom. Remember, life is too short. Always remember that. Whatever, when you wake up in the morning, when you go to your day-to-day business, doing whatever you need to do daily, always remember one thing. Life is too short. There are so many of us, or many people, that we started this year, 2023. Here we are on the 30th of August. There are no more. But we still continue the journey. But then life is too short. Life can be hard sometimes. So you need to prepare yourself. It's not going to be easy going every day of our lives. If it's easy growing, then we won't grow and we won't get better and we won't be stronger. So sometimes we have to face the hard time, the tough time. It is not easy with problems on our mind sometimes, but we got to take one day at a time, because Rome is not built in a day. It takes patience to cook a proper, delicious soup. So perseverance will not give up, not quit, especially when you are learning how to get yourself better, how to improve yourself, how to build your confidence, how to have peace of mind and enjoy the rest of your life. It's very, very important. So, but yes, you can. And it is possible to be fulfilled and be successful in life in respect of everything we are all going through. We are able to bless those who have injured us. When we have a clean heart and free ourselves, and we are happy, we are healthy, then we'll be blessed. We will continue to pray for those who hurt us. We will continue to pray that they will also be able to be free in wherever they are. I remember I was sharing recently with a sister when they've already divorced long time ago. But I said, do you still see this person? And then the person said, no, they're not seeing each other, but really they can hear news about one another. I said, have you one day prayed for him? After all, he's still the father of your children. They said, well, that's difficult. I said, that is it. You have to let go. You have to forgive him and move on. Yes, he might not come back to you. Yes, you might not build the relationship again or trust, but then you've started before things went apart. And that's the more reason why you should, in your heart, because that is also practical, that you have forgiven that person by praying for them. Some of the healing and miracle requires is your forgiveness to yourself and to others, to let go. Let them go and your miracle comes in. Forgiveness is very, very important. It lets you turn your back to bitterness. Forgiveness is giving up all hopes of a bitter past. If you have a regret about something you've done, use this moment to forgive yourself. And if you have a resentment against someone else, use this time that we are together on this platform, to forgive them. Things don't go as planned. Learn to forgive and forgive quickly. It will reflect your emotions and gives you peace, joy, and be successful. Love. When we're talking of forgiveness, we are also talking about love. Let me quickly just share this with you, that love requires listening to one another, overcome together, value one another, and enjoy together, said by Elizabeth Lucas-Afolalu. But things changed. And I want to believe that emotional breakdown, lack, frustration, the unknown, the abuse of power, inferiority, insecurity, disappointment, discouragement, weaknesses, unfaithful, and the influence of drugs, friends, and family, anger, and abuse will cause violence and abuse in the family, and that can break down your happiness. I also want to believe that there are solutions to these issues. And that is why we are entertaining or organizing this kind of seminars. You can call it a masterclass, seminars. You can call it anything like training, because it's very important that we keep looking for solutions to the problems. Because that is the only way we can get better. That's the only way our relationship can be healthier and deeper. That's the only way we can be happier and be peaceful in mind. So I want to believe there is solution to every issues in relationship. And this is one of them. And I want to congratulate you for listening to this. But please feel free as well to share your thoughts on the chat box and ask questions. So I believe there are solutions, something like you need to realize and admit that there's a problem. So many of us can deny that. We can deny and pretend that all is well when the fire is burning. We can pretend that there's no problem. Or some people, like the other day, I went for a business conference and they were talking, and one of them is testifying openly and said, you know what? I switch the love that I have for my wife, because of the problem they're having, switching it for making money. You cannot exchange relationship with wealth. No. You need both. You need to earn money and at the same time build relationship. You cannot be wealthier in the world and then don't have any relationship. So that is why we need to realize it, that there's a problem. We need to observe it. We need to assess it. We need to evaluate it and see where we go wrong and admit it in your own side that you have responsibility in that problem as well. It takes two to mingle. The problem cannot be only one-sided. Then once you admit that, then you need to seek for help. It could be professional counseling, pastoral counseling, prayers, support, deliverance, and be willing as well to help one another because we are all going through this. Because if you can help yourself, then you can help others through what you know. If you can change yourself, it can influence others and everything and everyone around you. And you can even share just the way I am sharing, because I have learned few things. So it's easy for me to come and share my wisdom, my experience, and even my knowledge. You can do the same thing, because the more you give, the more you receive, and you get better. And always remember this, that with God, all things are possible, and there is nothing too difficult for God of the universe to do. So seek God's face and pray, commit everything in God's hands. Okay, we've done the first section. Now we are going to the second section. Expectations and communication. That's one of the reasons why there will always be disagreement, there will always be argument, there will always be problem, there will always be abuse, violence. It's about expectations and communication. These are two basic areas which seem to be critical in relationship. What do we expect from ourselves and the other person involved in any relationship? What is our expectation? Because sometimes we can be frustrated and irritated when our expectations is not being met. But then, how do you communicate this expectation, our feelings, our opinions to the person in relationship? How do we communicate with our friends, communicate with our children, our spouse, our leaders, our boss, our managers, our co-workers? How do you do that? Because communication is the key is a key one in any relationship. Then how does our personality, our self type affect our expectations and methods of even communicating it to others? How? Our own attitude, our lifestyle, how does it affect our expectations? Because it's one thing for you to expect something. It's one thing for you also to react. And if you are reacting in an opposite way, then the communication will not be passed through. How do you want people to understand it better that you are expecting them to do all this? Does our personalities, our individualities affect who we are romantically attracted to? Are we being attracted? Are we influencing with our attitude, our personalities? When people see us, what do they see? When they come around you, what are they enjoying? And how does it affect who our friends are? and who we work with best? These are the questions I want to be pondering, because remember, it's about the mindset of relationship, and we are dealing with the forgiveness. So and when we are talking about mindset, we are really thinking critically of what we've learned before and what we are learning presently. So we need to be thinking, because it's very important. Okay. Then because of that, expectations and communication, it's so easy for us to jump into conclusion. We can assume wrongly. We can conclude wrongly. And out of our wrong assumption, we criticize and condemn and treat others badly or negatively. Sometimes we assume too much that it is the bed of roses, that everything is, Sarah said, everything goes well. We assume too much that marriage is about supremacy, superiority, sexuality, and dominion. We assume that the other half will meet all our expectations. And we assume that we are either perfect, or our spouse is perfect, or somebody you are dealing with, or somebody you are building your relationship is perfect. We've forgotten that we are all human beings and there is no perfection. But because of our assumption, and that's why we start being frustrated. You expect them to act in a certain way. You expect them to speak in a certain way. You expect them to do things in a certain way. And if you don't get what you want, you start being frustrated and abusing them, slapping them. And then the violence comes in, anger comes in, bitterness comes in. We assume that someone's only purpose of marriage is only to fulfill intimacy, make babies, take care of the children and kitchen and domestic, and that leads to insecurity, threats, jealousy, blaming, condemning, and envying. Because that is your assumption, that you marry them for one purpose. You marry them to just be making babies. You've forgotten that we are all human beings created by God, gifted by God. We are all gifted. We are all industrious. We are all creative. We are all intelligent. We are all creative. You've assumed that that is the only thing. And then when you now see them developing themselves, even while they are raising the kids or developing that, then you feel jealous and you feel threatened. That they may be, that person is rising above you. Or sometimes you assume that you can do everything. So you work hard and hard and hard, and then end up being frustrated, tired, and then you want to slash it on everybody around you. We assume that we can change the other person or our spouse when we get married, or you can change anybody in the world. No. The only person you have the ability to change, the only person you are qualified to change is you. You cannot change others. The only thing you can do is that if you transform your lives, your relationship, if you change, then it can reflect. It can influence others. It can attract others. But you cannot really change them, control them, dominate their lives. We are all human beings. And we are all equal in the sight of God. We also assume that marriage will be like our parents or our friends. Here comes the competition. Here comes the comparing ourselves with others. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know how they built their relationship. You don't know the style they've used. But just because you can see the outcome of what they've done behind, You feel like, oh, so and so, they are good. I want to be like my parents. I want to be like my friends, the way they've built their relationship. Do you know what they've gone through? Do you know their pain? You can only see the result and the outcome of what they've gone through for many years. We also assume that we don't have a choice, and it is our duty to love and suffer in silence for the sake of religion, tradition, culture, society, for the sake of children, for financial security, or what will people say? And all of us are guilty of that. And then we want to blame others when things now get worse. We got stuck with emotional blackmail. We are all guilty of being victim of all this. If some are still suffering and pretend all is well, or afraid to speak out, or don't know what to do. And then when you are hurt, the next thing you want to say is, I can never forgive. The dangerous thing is when you have to keep quiet and pleases everyone and pretend that all is well. And the situation escalated, which led to abuse, violence, suicidal, mental health, and death. But do we have to reach that level? And even if you have reached that level, there is still a way out. And you can forgive and move on with your life. Remember, I said something earlier on. Life is too short. But it's now going to depend on your mindset, how you want to enjoy your life and be happy. But the truth is, we all have a choice. Again, right to make decisions for our lives, for your lives, and get better understanding of how it works. However, majority don't know themselves. If you don't know yourself, you too, you will abuse yourself. You will disrespect yourself, dishonor yourself. You will treat yourself as trash. They don't know their purpose, why they are on earth. They just follow the crowd. They just do what every other person is doing. And when they don't find their way, they are frustrated. And they are looking for somebody to blame. They are looking for somebody to lay their anger on. Because you don't know your purpose as a man and even as a woman. You don't know your position in the society. You don't know why everything happens, that you become the man of honor, or a woman of virtue. We don't know the differences. We don't know ourselves. We don't know our weakness. We don't know our strength. And we misquoted and misjudged and misunderstood what relationship is all about, what love is all about, what marriage is all about. The components of love are intimacy, passion, compassion, commitment, caring. In the midst of some crises, adversities, and challenges and conditions beyond our controls, love is paramount. Love will bring peace. Love will bring happiness. Love will bring harmony. Love will bring unity. And love protects the future, save lives, and unifying people. So until we start understanding this, because sometimes we might think we are expecting somebody to forgive us, but are we ready to forgive ourselves and forgive others? Because it's like a circle. You forgive yourself, you forgive others, and you receive forgiveness. Now, I'm just going to round up for today. If you are enjoying this teaching, I will advise you to come back here tomorrow and enjoy, and also invite your friends and your family, because we are talking about mindset to forgive. And tomorrow we're going to dive into it even more to talk about forgiveness and happiness. We need to talk about that, because I know that every one of us want to be happy, but we have to pay the price to be happy. And forgiveness is part of the price to pay. So if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, please join us tomorrow and invite others. So let me round up with all this and ask the question. The question is, how can we experience this peace? Firstly, he has to start from within, from individual, to experience inner peace and enjoy life. Without that, we cannot progress in promoting peace. Let me quickly share with you how to experience inner peace. Start knowing who you are. Because sometimes we look at our weakness. I mean, we don't know that our weakness, sometimes, if we don't develop it and make it better, it can affect our relationship. So you need to know your strengths. You need to know your weakness. You need to know your life, who you are, and then your purpose. Because once you know who you are, and you act on who you are, and build your relationship, and build your skills, and build your skills and everything, then you will enjoy your life. You are adding value to you. And that is the first thing first. Yes, people might say it's not possible to forgive, but the more you know yourself, the more the better you know others. So know who you are and know your purpose. The second thing is focus on the things you can do and stop blaming, stop criticizing or complaining. Stop looking at others, look at inside of you. Because sometimes when the events now happened, the first thing we want to say is that person is the result of this. That it is the fault of that person. But then if you do your own bit and you understand it and you contribute positively to the situation, to that relationship, then things will work better and it will be easier for you to forgive. You cannot change the world, I've said it, but you can change and develop yourself. Be true to yourself and be mindful of what you eat, wear, say to yourself and to others. Because when you develop who you are, then you will now continue to see the differences in others. Even you will see the differences even in me. Be kind to one another, but know your limits and when to say no. Sometimes we want to stretch it, and sometimes we want to please people. And you please people all your days, all your years. And what do you receive in return? Nothing. Than blaming yourself. They even condemn you. They even abuse you and take you for granted. Self-care matters. So meditate on those positive words and say it constantly to yourself. Being kind requires determination, courage, better understanding, and strength. And it is very, very important. So I'm not going to say much because I think my time is up. So yes, tomorrow is another day where we will also be able to share with you more in depth. And I want to believe by this time tomorrow, you should have every reason for you to forgive yourself, forgive others, let go of the past, free yourself, and enjoy your life. So let me just quickly give you this, and then we will talk much about it tomorrow. So to overcome your emotions, you have to get better understanding of your life, your situation, the situation on the ground, and also understand the other spouse that is, or both of you are involving. Then affirmation, you need to start talking to yourself and say, I will change myself. I will manage myself. I can do better. I can have a happy life. I can be happy. I can stand strong in times of adversity, and I can overcome every challenges that comes my way. When you start saying it, you are feeding your mindset, and your mindset is re-engineering so that you can think positively and also act positively. Prayers is very good because you don't know it all. Like the scripture says, not by our power, it's not by our might, it's by the Spirit of the living God. So when you trust God of the universe and you put your problem, place it upon him and ask him to help you. Remember, even the scripture says, forgive my sins, O God, as we forgive other people that trespass against us. So you can see that it's not your own power, it's the power of God. But when you believe and you keep praying, God, help me to forgive. Help me to receive forgiveness. Help me to forgive myself. Help me to forgive others. By the time you realize this within a short period, you will see yourself forgiven because prayers and works and God answers prayers. Meditation also is very, very important. So, for example, for a few things we've shared today, maybe you need to start thinking and meditating and pondering about what Elizabeth Lucas-Afolalu have shared with you today, so that when the time you come back tomorrow, you will have a better picture, better understanding, and willing to forgive. So on this note, I want to say thank you so much for listening. And I believe you have any questions that you want to answer me today, or you want to move your questions till tomorrow. So I'll be waiting for a couple of minutes. If you have any question, so please ask and we can answer it. Let me just quickly see if any question for us today. Okay, so do you have any questions before we move on? Because we are coming back tomorrow. I don't want to take your time. I believe that you've listened to the few of my inspirational nuggets of wisdom to help us in this area of forgiveness. If you can forgive yourself, if you can forgive others and let go of the past, you will gain more energy to do more things in your life and be happy, because we all deserve to be happy. And anything, material things, money cannot buy happiness, except you let go of the past and be willing to forgive yourself in whatever you think you have done, forgive others, and also be happy. And then be willing to accept forgiveness from others. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions to ask me today, or we need to wait till tomorrow? Thank you. If not, I will start. I will continue where I stopped today. Tomorrow, the same time, please come with your friends and relatives and families, and let us reason together. Let's learn this very important. You cannot buy it, but to learn it and be willing to take action. You cannot buy happiness. You cannot buy freedom. But when you develop yourself, you can use it to better your life and live freely and receive blessing of the Lord. So on this occasion, I would like to say thank you once again to Dr. Sir Piyush Pandit for creating, organizing, and also the visionary of this IIU, and also giving us the opportunity to share on this platform. I also want to use this opportunity to say thank you to Dr. Singer and also Dr. Inga for supporting me on this platform today to be able to share my inspirational nugget of wisdom. So I now hand over to Dr. Inga. Thank you so much.